Hi everyone. Hey, last week I saved some things that I had mailed home to you guys. And I saved them for this week because I thought we had enough Halloween things to do with the spider and the bat and all the art. Okay, so I had asked you guys all the new stuff that I mailed to you. I had asked you to put it in your black folder. So it should be the last thing in your black folder, okay? So it's this little book, pumpkin book, and then this where we're gonna label the pumpkin, but I think we're gonna do one today and one tomorrow, okay? And I'm gonna just step out of the way. I set the pocket chart up today in my kitchen because I'm gonna be cutting open the pumpkin and I want it to be in the kitchen to do that. Okay, so this is a little song that I did on the calendar. It is a song, but I don't really know the tune, so I am just gonna read it, okay? It's called Parts of a Pumpkin, okay? And it goes, I saw a great big pumpkin, and we've got a picture of a pumpkin. It had a little stem. And here's a picture of the stem. Now the stem is green because the stem is green until you cut the pumpkin, until it's really, really ripe and it's ready to carve. Then it does turn brown. Inside the pumpkin, there were seeds at the top of the rim. And I'll show you the rim in a little bit. And here's a picture of the seeds inside. The skin was bright and orange. You guys know that, right? That's the skin. The ribs were tall and wide. So the ribs are the lines on the pumpkin, and I will show you that in a minute too. The pulp and seeds were sticky. Okay, there's the seeds and they're sticky. The pulp inside is sticky. The leaves were brown and dried. So once the leaves of course are green when they first grow on the pumpkin, but then they turn brown and they just fall off. Okay, and the stem turns brown too. I'm gonna read it again, and this time I'll just read it straight through. I saw a great big pumpkin and had a little stem. Inside the pumpkin, there were seeds at the top of the rim. The skin was bright and orange. The ribs were tall and wide. The pulp and seeds were sticky. The leaves were brown and dried. So that's just a cute little poem there about a pumpkin and the parts of the pumpkin. I see some sight words. I see the word I, the word a. This one, I think it's not a sight word, but I think we can sound it out. Big, big. I see a. I see the. There's our sight word. Oh, I see at. And the again. And here's the again. So even though this is a little bit hard for kindergarten to read, they can pick out some of the sight words when they're looking at that book. There's the again, here's the. Okay, we're gonna have the word and pretty soon. A-N-D is and. Okay, now what I wanna do is I'm just gonna bring this over here. Okay, that's why I'm in my kitchen today. Because I took that pumpkin that I showed you when I was doing the calendar, and I went ahead and cut the top open because I didn't want to do it while I was doing the lesson because I'd be using a knife. So there we go. I set up the other pumpkins here on my counter. They look so pretty. I think I'm going to leave them there. So what I did is I took the knife and I cut around like that. Of course, a grown-up has to do that. You can see the stem. Okay, here's the stem. Here's the orange pumpkin. These are the ribs. You see those lines going down like that? Those are called the ribs. You guys have ribs. They're here, right? Right there. You can feel them. They're bones. Okay, so these are a little different, but and then when you cut it open, there's the seeds inside, right? So on the part of the poem where it says the seeds and the pulp were sticky, I almost don't want to touch this because then I'm going to get my hands all sticky, but you would have to pull all these seeds out. And then you could either get in there with your hand or with a scoop or with a big spoon, and you can get all of this out. See? So what you do is you get all of that out, you clean it out, and then here's the skin, right? This is the skin, just like we have skin on the outside of our body. The pumpkin has skin like this, or an apple has skin. Okay, and then there's all the sticky seeds and everything. This is like the meat of the pumpkin, this part right here. And that's the part that you would use to make pumpkin pie. So, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and just dig in there. Look at all this stuff. Ooh. I know a lot of times when we do this in class, the kids all go, ooh, and they don't want to get their hand in there, but some are not afraid to do it at all. Okay, so now I'm really glad I colored this because now my hands are all sticky. Okay, so now what I want you guys to do today is get out this little book. It says Parts of a Pumpkin, and it's the same thing we just read on the pocket chart. This says a pumpkin has a stem. Well, it's not exactly the same. This is just talking about the parts. A pumpkin has a stem. Now, you could color your stem green, but look at this stem. It's definitely brown. Look at this one. It's definitely brown. That's because they've already been picked. If you got them when they were growing in the garden, they could still be green. A pumpkin has leaves. So, oops, sorry about my hands are all sticky, but a pumpkin has leaves. Here's our sight word A. Here's a good sound out word, as. Okay, and I went ahead and colored it because I knew that I was going to have sticky hands. I like to outline, so I used a dark green to outline, and then I colored it in with a light green. All right. A pumpkin has skin. This says skin, and the arrow's pointing to the skin. Okay, and this part is, I call that the meat. That's like the flesh. That's the part that you would actually eat. You could cook that or make that into a pie. A pumpkin has pulp, and that's all that stuff inside of there. These are the seeds, and then this is the pulp. A pumpkin has seeds, and you guys got to see the seeds inside. And this one says, a pumpkin is orange, and you should be able to read that word because we did that a few weeks ago, O-R-A-N-G. But there's a little note up in the corner that says, fun fact, pumpkins can also be green, white, red, blue, or tan. Okay, now look at this one. This is kind of tan or a light yellow with orange in it. This one's striped. And then remember my little ghost pumpkin was white. Now I did not know that they could be blue, or I did know green and white and a little bit red, but I didn't know pumpkins could be blue, but it says that in the little story. So boys and girls, now what you can do is just get this little book out and color it. You can practice reading it. It's not that hard to read because our sight word A is on every single page. This word has, as. This is a sight word also. We haven't had it yet, but you can sound it out. And you guys probably recognize the word pumpkin because we've talked about it quite a bit. We even wrote some sentences with pumpkin, pumpkin. Okay, and then here, the last word, you got the picture. You can use a picture clue, and some of them you can sound out. So maybe we can do it really quick one more time. A pumpkin has a stem. A pumpkin has leaves. A pumpkin has skin, right? On the outside of it, skin. A pumpkin has pulp. The sticky stuff inside is the pulp. A pumpkin has seeds. You can tell from the picture that word is seeds. And this one, I think you can read the whole thing. A pumpkin is, and that's our sight word too, O-R-A-N-G-E. A pumpkin is orange. And there's a little note up here that says pumpkins can be other colors too. So that's it. So we are going to do the other one, but I'm going to save that. I need to wash my hands because I've got sticky stuff all over, and we're going to do this tomorrow. Okay, good job.